Peace and blessings, love and light. Hello, y'all. What's up? Another Monday. Not a manic Monday, just another Monday. Welcome to Redefining Authenticity. It's your girl, Kim Martin Raymond, your toolbox essentialist and founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. And it is also the home of the 365-day challenge, where we are on day 132.
Oh,
what? We are 132 days into this year. Okay? Just in case you were wondering.
Again, it still feels like day 1015, but whatever. We're gonna rock this thing out. And we're gonna call it a magical Monday, right? We're gonna take away the manic and the negative connotation of Monday.
Right.
And welcome to this magical Monday with
Right.
Redefining Authenticity. My name is Sheronda L. Barksdale, your spiritual life empowerment coach at Authentically Your Expressions, where we are helping you live your most authentic life.
Yes.
How you
Yes.
doing?
Yes. Okay. And please make sure that you are following, liking, sharing, subscribing to our YouTube channels. They are listed right there at the bottom of the screen, and they'll be scrolling throughout the show. Make sure to connect with us. Let us know some things that you want to see coming down the pike as we are going through this relationship series. We've been doing a series of shows talking about, preparing for relationships and tips on and tricks on dating. And we're going to continue in that vein. Today, we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of dating. And, we'll get as far as we go today, and then we may stretch it into another week. But it's the relationship series because there are just so many things that or so many different aspects that we can go through when we talk about dating and when we talk about relationships, and there are quite a few no-nos, and it's amazing that some people still don't know what those are.
And let's be clear, me and Kim wanted to do this on a show that's called Redefining Authenticity, because when you're starting over,
right,
or you're dating for the first time, I think we should all walk in with our truth.
Right.
And me and Kim, we feel like there should be some level, a high level of who you are that shows up. People get married, they date and all that based on lies, based on too many lies. And so me and Kim want to give you all the freedom to be real and understand who you are first, and then know how to walk in and be like, I don't like this. It's okay for me to walk away. So that's why we really want to go into the series of dating. And I love talking about dating.
Yes. And, although, when Sheronda's in a relationship, I'm married, we dated. We remember. Oh my goodness. I was the guinea pig for so many things when it came to my girlfriends. And when the online dating started, they were like, oh, okay, please, guinea pig. That was my name. They was like, Kim, try this one. And Kim, try that one. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So yes, experience was a good teacher, and it eventually led me to the relationship that I'm in now. And even though it's been a long time, you're still dating the person that you're in a relationship with, because there are still different aspects. There are still things that we're going through as a couple, and so we have to take those things.
You're married.
Yeah.
You're still supposed to be dating when you're married. We forget about continuing the dating process.
And all that other stuff.
Because guess what? We're always changing. We're always becoming new. We're always redefining ourselves when different things come up in our lives. A new job, a death in the family, a new child. Different things happen. And there's a new definition. Becoming a widow was a new definition for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure losing one of your children, Kim, was a new defining moment for you.
Yes, it was.
Different things that happen that redefine who we thought we were. And so we want to make sure you can authentically be okay with doing that. And that's why we work hard in this.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get cracking. Let's get started. Why not? Oh, please.
There we go. A little banter. I'll be like, give me a little banter at the beginning.
Absolutely. The do's and don'ts. All right. But like you said, it's always good to dive in. And the first one is try to look your best and be punctual.
And
that's a twofer. But that's with any relationship. To me, that some of these things are going to go beyond just dating. They're going to go through your relationships with coworkers, with friends, with other people that you're going to encounter. You want to always look your best. Okay. And you always want to be punctual. We'll
Yes.
start with the looking your best part first.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Because you know,
wait, wait. I want to pause on that.
sure.
Stand up, Kim. I'm telling you, she over there fly. I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm not gonna stand up on no camera, but I mean, you can see the top. Oh,
Look at the top.
that's about all you're gonna get.
You see over there looking fly. Try
Good.
to look your best. It's very important to Kim. I love it.
It is, and she's
I
right. You know,
love
like I said, fashionista. I don't play when it comes
it. Do
to
not.
how I'm coming out because I'm representing legacy. I'm representing the Martin name. I'm representing my mother and my father. Okay. My father was the king of the iron. Okay. I'm not stepping out of this house without
House.
ironing my clothes. I'm one of those people. Yes. Everybody's not. That's why they make clothes that are wrinkle free.
They're wrinkle
I'm
free.
not one of them. I wake up every morning, even though I lay out my clothes the night before, but I iron every morning. There's just something about that iron. I don't know if it's the smell. I don't know if it's the feel of it, the heat that comes. I like to iron. I'm stuck on the fashion, and then sometimes I'll have those clothes, and I may say in my mind's eye that outfit looks good, and then I may put it on and be like,
Yeah.
so I got to have like a backup.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, for me, looking my best isn't even if I'm going outside. I'm not saying I have to have full face on and all of those things like that,
Yeah.
but I take pride in my appearance.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like I'm in the yard unless I'm in the yard.
Yeah.
And there's the thing about being appropriate with your dress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the key.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work in Crocs and you know and cut
Absolutely.
off jeans, and I work in a corporate office.
Yes.
So when they talk about looking your best, dress appropriately for the event that you're attending.
Attending.
You don't have to have 6-inch heels on and a glittery shirt to sit in the movie theater in the dark.
Exactly.
You want to be comfortable, you know, but you can be comfortable and classy. So it's just a matter, you know, there are so many ways that you can go online and look up trends.
Mm-hmm.
What's casual chic, what is, you know, corporate. Find out what those looks look like and then make it your own.
Yes. I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree. You know, I'm Gen X, which I'm sure you are too, Gen X, but I'm on the cusp of Gen X and millennials. I don't like ironing shit. Let me tell you something. I ain't ironing. I'm not ironing. I'd rather take it to the dry cleaners.
Yes.
And then let them figure it out. Versus but I will iron. I'm not saying I won't.
Right.
There are times when my son pull out his clothes for school and I'll be like,
Right.
let me get
Gotta
this
bump them wrinkles out.
and not the one. And my dad is, and I think because my dad made it a little traumatic. He wasn't mean, but like he had to go to work there early. And I didn't have to. He would wake me up. But I knew his point was to teach me
Right.
to make sure I was doing stuff like that. So I will iron, but my preference is the dryer. That's number one. Well, number one is the dry cleaner. Number two, I throw it in the dryer, see if I can knock a bunch of them out. But then I will iron because absolutely, you want to be able to be impressive for yourself. There's something about looking your best that makes you feel good.
First impressions.
It makes you feel sit up a little taller, and when your makeup's right, or you get them eyebrows done, or you lay your hair the way you want. The reason that feels so good is because you know that you're representing you.
Right.
So it's not even about impressing someone else, because you might meet this person and they think you're the most beautiful thing in the world and you can't stand their ass. You're not feeling them. That's okay. But at least you feel good to you, and you get to put your best foot forward when you're trying to look your best. And this is even say we're going to do a exercise date. We go to the gym together. Don't wear the dingiest damn thing you got in the house to go to yes, it's just the gym. But if you're dating, and just to feel good about yourself. And again, when you look good going to the gym, you work a little harder versus feeling insecure once you notice that little stain that you left there from yesterday. Right. Or it's still a little funky because you ain't washed it yet.
Right.
You want to put your best foot forward and looking and presenting in a beautiful, beautiful way.
Right. Just like you said, if not for that person, for yourself. Like you said, for you. I do it for me.
Yes.
You know, when I look at me, I'm like, yes. And I don't want to sit there and be tugging and pulling and When
Yes.
I'm comfortable, just like you said, your focus is now on your stride, on your walk. I'm looking like, yes, I can now look around. I'm not busy looking down because I'm noticing I got strings hanging or I'm wrinkled or I got stains. That I don't want that to be my focus.
Can I show you something, Kim and
Sure,
y'all?
sure.
I went to Ross today because you know I'm into the moo-moos.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we try to look our best for y'all too here.
All right.
Okay. So look at my moo-moo. Look,
Oh, it's beautiful.
you see my girl?
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Isn't that beautiful? And
Yes,
it's just a
ma'am.
moo-moo. But I feel powerful. I feel queen-like. I feel pretty. I feel
Yes,
ready to present myself because we never know who's going to watch this space, right?
that's right.
We don't want to look shabby and crazy. Somebody might want to hire us for a most amazing event that's coming up, and they want to come check out our page and see what we're doing. And
That's
when they
right.
see me on here looking crazy, just because I'm on YouTube,
Right.
I mean that may work for somebody else,
That's it. And
but it
it's
wouldn't
been a
work for
challenge. You think that I've been doing the 365-day challenge. And like I said, I got to day 90 and someone commented on it. They said, I've
me.
watched you for 90 days. You ain't mind noticing you wear the same thing twice. I was like, stick around. The
Stick with
rotation is strong, but I'm gonna
it's
get back
coming.
around to it.
It's
But
coming.
yeah, but
But
the whole thing
that's
was that,
good.
you
Yeah,
put your
that's
best foot
beautiful.
forward.
But your best, and when you're dating, it just makes you feel good.
Yes.
It's the presentation of it all will help you show up in the best light possible. I've gotten ready for dates and changed my outfit 4 or 5 times. I've done it,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it's because I didn't feel right in the outfit. It
Right.
wasn't. I don't know what this person's gonna like or not like, right?
Correct.
But I'm not coming out there to look like a hooker.
Right. Comfort, especially if you're an older person dating.
Dating,
Comfort. I'm not wearing heels. I mean, I don't wear wedges, heels. My feet stay as close to the floor as possible. No kitten heels, nothing. I'm not trying to be nowhere off the floor, ground zero. Because if I trip or fall, it's gonna be a 6 to 8 week recovery. Okay, I'm gonna be down. So I need to be as close to the ground as possible. I have spinal stenosis, so every now and then,
yeah,
a nerve will pinch in my back. So I'm not trying to
trying
be
to
out there busting up my feet and binding my
with
feet
your
and doing all
husband
these things, trying to be cute for nobody. Everything for me is about comfort, and I can be comfortable and cute.
and cute.
So that's what I'm doing. And then I don't want that to be the focus of the date. I'm sitting across from the person, and all I'm thinking about is how I can't breathe because the pants are so tight and they digging into my stomach or my skin. I'm hoping that the button don't pop off.
Okay.
You don't want that to be the
Oh, my
focus.
feet hurting. My feet. We going to the
Right.
concert. My
It
feet hurt.
takes away from the date. You see all
They
these girls are at the end of the dance parties, they get holding their shoes in the hand. The guy got to try to carry them and
carried
everything else
them
like that. Nobody
barefooted.
wants to have to do all of that. Dress
Mm-mm.
for comfort. You can look your best, but be comfortable. And again, be appropriate for what
Yeah.
you're doing, for where you're going. Be appropriate with your clothing, and don't wear anything short. If you know you're gonna be going to play miniature golf and you got to be bending over and all the stuff like that, you trying to give people a show, but there are other people that are going to be there too. Be respectful and mindful. So think about it when you're putting your outfits together, and that you're looking your best, and that means your best for you, not for that other person, but for you. Okay. And then why they pair this with my next thing that's a pet peeve of mine: punctuality. I am a time person. I do trainings on time management. I'm a good manager of time,
Yeah.
and it drives me nuts when people are not
Nuts.
punctual. I understand that things happen,
Yes.
but if you know that you're going on a date at 7 o'clock, and you know that the route that you have to take has traffic, then prepare for that.
Yes.
That's what you have GPS for. That's what you have Waze and Google Maps and all these other things for. Because even when I'm going to work, I put on my Waze every morning before I go to work, because sometimes it takes me a different way.
Period.
It warns me that there may be, and I put it on before I leave the house. Maybe a half an hour before I leave, I may put it on just to see if there was an accident or something. I don't want to find out when I get out there that
Okay.
there was an
There was an
accident.
accident.
And now I'm scraping and scrounging to try to get, to where I need to be.
Right.
Take the time to figure out what way you have to go there. Is that a way that typically has traffic? And put that time in as well. don't show up fashionably late. I don't
It's
even
not
like that
cute.
term.
It's not even cute.
It's
It's not.
not cute.
Mm-mm.
And you got people waiting, especially if you're a gentleman and you've got a woman sitting in a new place and she's got to sit there and wait on you.
Girl, Kim,
And
I've
she's looking her
gone.
best and people are walking by trying to, hey, how you doing? Thinking that she's sitting there by herself.
And she better get picked up by somebody else. But anyway,
Exactly.
still playing. But I've gotten places where I've been when I arrived there. I may have been like 30 minutes early than where I was supposed to be there, but because I wanted to make sure I was there on time,
Right. Right.
I got there earlier than expected. I'm okay with sitting in the car for a few minutes. I don't even like being late. I
Right.
hate it. And like you said, things happen.
Right. You
Even
know?
tonight, I wasn't late to the show, but I was late to me and Kim meeting. But there was
Right.
something going on, and Kim and I communicated it to Kim what was going on.
Right.
I don't like this about respecting people's time. First of all, that's
Yes.
my thing. When you are disrespectful of my time, I have a serious problem with you, and I can't
Right.
date you because it's like you don't care that this
Right.
is time out of my life. This time we all have is limited.
That's
People
it.
think this is a unlimited amount of life. It ain't. Sorry.
Right.
So I don't like spending my time sitting and waiting for somebody for 20 and 30 minutes. Girl,
Right.
it's one thing if you 2 or 3 or even 5 minutes late. When you
Right.
start getting to the 10-minute mark, I am already heated.
Oh,
15
right.
minutes, I'm leaving.
15 minutes, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
That's a rule of thumb for me. 15 minutes. And that's with anything. With
Anything.
guests that are on my
Okay?
podcast, with anything. 15 minutes. We're going to reschedule. Thank you so much. I've reached out. Oh, I hope. And the first thing is, I don't dig into that person. The first thing that
Yeah.
I ask is, are they okay?
Are you okay?
Because sometimes things happen,
Yes.
you know? And I'm not going to say, you were late. What the heck is wrong with you? Blah, blah. You don't go off on
Yeah.
somebody. What you do is you stop and you say, okay, are you all right? I'm just reaching out to see if you're okay.
Mhm.
Oh, well, I'm okay. Okay, well, then, I noticed that you were 15 minutes late. I'm going to have to reschedule.
See?
And they may be like, oh, well, I was only 15 minutes. Just like you said, you're not a respecter of my time, and I've set aside a time for you. You don't know what I'm doing afterwards,
Afterward.
or that it may be a weeknight, or it may be something that I have to do. And if it's a Saturday, I may be getting ready for church in the morning.
Yes.
You don't know. You don't know what I have scheduled at my time. I've set out a block of time, and if you're not going to respect that, then we'll have to reschedule. And if you don't honor that and say, oh, I understand, and not get, in your feelings about it, then we didn't need to go out on a date in the first place.
In the first place. I'm going to play a quick second of devil's advocate. It's going to be quick. If you are someone who doesn't care about punctuality, get with somebody who don't care about punctuality, please. Please.
Communicate that.
You don't have to be punctual if the other person doesn't mind. If they're okay. Me and Kim are not we're not the ones. We just told you about it. However, if you meet someone and you communicate, and sometimes somebody's so interested in you, they are willing to wait 30 minutes to an hour and sit there because they really like your energy. You've communicated and all this stuff is happening. They're willing to wait for you. That's beautiful.
That's the biggest
Don't
thing.
just do it. They'll wait for me. Don't just assume people out here and okay, and then you wondering why. And see, these are the people who turn around, Kim, and be like, I don't understand why it's so hard to attract somebody. Bitch, you'll never show up on time. You're wasting these motherfuckers' time. They sick of you.
Right.
They sick of you right now because you're already wasting their time. You're acting like their time doesn't have value. Every single human you ever meet, their time is valuable, including yours. So treat it that way.
That's right. I absolutely love that. I mean, no greater words have been spoken. Be on time or communicate. Like you said, the biggest thing with that is communicate. Don't call me at 8:00 and you were supposed to be there at 8:00. You knew you were running late 15 minutes before that or 30 minutes before that. Reach out to me then.
You knew.
And let me know that, hey, it looks like traffic is backing up. It looks like I'm going to be late. At least you give me the head. You didn't wait until the time you were supposed to be there before you told me, oh, I'm going to be a few minutes late.
Give me the choice.
You knew that.
Give me the choice to decide, oh, you're running that late. You want to reschedule? Because I like
Bam,
that. Even when I'm doing a show with somebody else, you
bam.
can reschedule if you need to. If it's that, because I don't want people to
Absolutely.
put, you don't want people to put extra pressure on themselves either getting
Right,
to you. You don't want them getting in an accident or anything because they're speeding
right,
or trying to rush or anything
right,
like that. But communication
right. And you
is
don't want to
key.
be stressed. How you gonna enjoy yourself and you all out of breath because you was running to try to get here? It's too much.
See,
Reschedule. All right. Let's move on. That was a good one though.
yeah,
Look, first one, I was just like, you know,
girl. And
the
look,
pet
my
peeves.
man, his non-punctual self, talk about send me the link.
Yeah, okay.
Send me the link.
Your man and my husband. We all know.
We
We
love
all know
him.
Mr.
We love
Dating.
him. We love him.
Love him to death. Okay. But I'm gonna tell him we gotta be somewhere 3 hours before we're supposed to be there because I know it's gonna take him 3 hours to get himself together.
Exactly. Well,
Real
and then
talk.
I'm not gonna even bother G too much because I know he's probably feeding kids dinner and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna be too hard.
That's it. With that, hey, flexibility.
Flexibility.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Yes. So our next do, have fun while dating. Dating is supposed to be fun, y'all. And people are out here legit stressing out, worrying. And what is this the one? Fuck the one. Excuse me. I mean, yes, fuck the. I mean, hold on, Sharonda. Wait a minute. You want the one, right? But you don't find the one from dating one. When you start dating, you're trying to learn yourself and somebody else. The way you find out what you do and don't like is by the dating process. Dating
Right.
should be fun. Y'all should be finding things to do like bowling, not just sitting down and eating. Find out the things that you know, the things you know. When they say what you want to do when you go, let's go out. What would you like to do? Know what you like to do. Let's go do a sip and paint. Let's go throw axes. Let's go
Right.
do dinner in a movie theater. And I live in Atlanta, so there's so many options here. And I understand
So
some people are in smaller areas where there's not so much. Even my hometown, they don't have a movie theater. However, guess what we do have? The ocean. We have beautiful swings. There's a waterfront where you can sit, watch the sunset, swing, and get to know each other. It don't even have to cost a thing other than the gas to get there.
right.
Know what you enjoy doing and have fun. You get to have fun. And if you never see that person again, guess what you just did? Had fun. Allow yourself to have the fun.
I love that. I love that. Real talk. Because guess what? We eat every day. So why do we always go out to
Go out
go
to
to
eat.
the place to eat? You gonna eat. You eat every day. Some people eat more than one time, 3, 4, 5 times, 6 times, however
Oh,
you choose to
way too
eat.
many. Way too many of the time.
Okay, but the thing is, we always talk about, oh, well, let's just go out and eat. Okay, what other things are there to do there? Just like you said, we're in Atlanta, so there are so many things you could go and do. Like I said, the putt. You can go and you can go
Yes.
bowling. Start Strike. There are all kinds of places,
Oh,
all
Stars and
kinds of
Stripes.
things you can
Oh
do,
my
all
God.
kinds of
Yes.
events. I love events. Especially we got so many festivals and things coming up,
Food
especially in the
festivals,
spring and
wine
stuff like that.
festivals.
Be outside. Who want to just be sitting up in the dark? You can get that movie for free on these other little things. So you know what I'm saying? We always go and default to the basic things.
Yeah.
I never think it's a good idea to go to the movies on the first date because you are
Never.
sitting in the dark looking at the movie. You're not going to be
Not
talking
even
during the movie because I want to
communicating.
hear what the movie is about. So that there would have to be a second part to that.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing that, and like my husband and I, we went to the drive-in. When was the last time you been to a drive-in? When we got popcorn and we sat outside the car, and okay, that's fun. But what I'm saying is, just like Sharonda said, you wanna enjoy it. You want to do something that you may not typically have an opportunity to do, or you may have been reluctant to do by yourself. Now here it is, you have a second person who can go with you
With you.
to do that thing that you wanted to do, but you
Yes.
felt awkward doing it by yourself. Have fun. The point of going and dating, like she said, is to have fun. So
Um,
when it's over, you can say, I had a good time. Even if you didn't connect with that person, you can at least say, I had fun. I had a good time. I got to bowl. I bowled my best game. I did whatever. You want to laugh and, and
yes.
and exert some energy. Have
Yeah.
fun while you're dating. Don't make it boring. Don't make it like the standard. Oh, we just gonna go and eat. You eat every day. Do
See,
something different.
one thing me and my late husband did, Cal, was before we ever got married, I grew up fishing, but I grew up fishing in salt water.
Mm.
Atlanta does not have salt water. Okay, this
Mm.
is lake fishing out here.
Right.
So he wanted to go fishing. I found out he liked fishing. I'm like, I want to go fishing too. I found out they got live bait. Let me tell you something.
Mhm.
Who is not touching crickets and night worms and all the night crawlers and all these little creepy things? I want to do it. But because we were dating, he would put them on the hook for it was
Right.
so romantic, girl. He would put
Yes.
the little things on the hook for me, and I'm gonna and guess what else I ain't doing? Because I grew up fishing with my daddy. He took the fish off the hook. So I know I'm not the best fisher because I ain't trying to touch a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
I love that's an opportunity to sit and talk. You're
Mhm.
in nature, you're breathing in this fresh air, you're connecting
Yes.
to God, the spirits, you right there in the energy of greatness, and you actually get to because fishing's slow, if anybody knows.
Yes.
Fishing is slow as golf, so whatever. The people you like, I hate fishing, y'all like playing walking around playing golf, but whatever.
Right.
But
Right.
it's a slow sport, but it's a beautiful thing for it was beautiful for us. That's what I
Right.
enjoy doing. So you
Right.
find those things where you can connect. One guy I remember I was dating, he was into going to shooting ranges.
Mhm.
So he knew of one that was it wasn't one like a building, he knew of one that was outside. So he took me, he brought all his artillery. You know, I was slightly nervous.
Mhm.
Is he gonna kill me and leave me out here in these woods? So I had to let somebody know where I was going before I left, those type
Absolutely.
of things to keep myself safe.
Well said.
However, we went out there and I learned how to I had so much because I always wanted to. I wanted to learn how to
Right.
shoot. So I went out
Mm.
there and he had his little target things and he would go way out there and hang it up. And when we were done, he brought me the one I was doing and showed me how I did and stuff like that.
Right.
It was fun. Did it go further than that? No,
Mm.
it did not. It did not. I ain't like him that much. That's just kind of what it was. But
Right.
I had fun on the date. And I always tell people, date more than one person at a time. I'm sorry. I don't know why y'all feel the need to. You don't owe that person. And now, if you can't do it because of you, that's fine. You
Right.
don't not do it because you don't want to offend the other person, nor
Right.
you don't get upset with somebody else dating more than just you. The hell? If that's not your man or your woman, you don't get mad that they're just going out with people until you decide to show up and lock it down. Enjoy dating. Have the
Right.
fun. If you can't are not available tonight, then I'm gonna find somebody who is. That's just how I date.
Right.
I ain't saying I'm sleeping with any of y'all, to be honest
That's
with
it.
you.
That's it. You're not
However,
at the point of intimacy, you're just at the point of exploration.
dating,
So
getting to know people, getting to
right.
know me on a larger level. So be okay
That's
with that. And then have
that's it. I love that. Have fun. Have fun. Keep it simple. All right, moving on.
mhm.
Okay, flatter and compliment your date on how they look or something that they're wearing. Okay, we were just like we were talking about, dressing. Some people are already going to feel self-conscious about what they're wearing. So say something, look at their outfit and say something nice. Now, I'm gonna preface that by saying, my grandmama always said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So if you don't have anything nice to say, I'm not saying go out there and
You say
dig deep. You
lie.
don't have
You
to
say
do that
lie.
either. But if that person is wearing something, I get a lot of compliments on my jewelry. My jewelry is made and a lot of my jewelry is handmade. And so
Yes.
I get a lot of compliments on my jewelry.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll go through a myriad of pieces and say, well, what am I gonna wear tonight? Well, this is gonna look like no, I'm not gonna wear this. I don't want to wear all that. I go back and forth. And then I get there and somebody goes, oh, that's a lovely necklace. Or, I really like those earrings. Where'd you get them from? And I said, oh, I know this dude. He makes my jewelry, blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
I give them the link and everything like that. So if that person is wearing something that's flattering, I'm not saying, gentlemen, mic check, gentlemen, be careful about it. Don't be like, damn, what I'm saying? Like, your booty popping or woo. We're not talking about that. That's a beautiful dress.
But
You
I'm
know,
not okay with him doing that because he needs to attract a girl who likes that. He needs to attract because some of the girls be like
right.
that.
There's a
You
way to
say
say
it so that I can run. So I can run, but you can find a girl who like.
it. Right. All I'm saying is, you know, if there's a compliment to be made,
If there's a couple,
make it be tasteful in your compliments to that person. and just say, I really like that. Or that's a beautiful, if it's a gentleman, that's a nice watch.
Yes.
I love that. I like timepieces. You don't necessarily have to, well, how much you pay for that? No, just, did you get that local or was it, did you have it,
Yeah.
did you have a design?
That's a
Somebody make it for
conversation
you?
starter.
It's a conversation starter. Exactly. I like that bag. That's a nice
Yeah.
bag. I'm always looking for a bag. If it's a gentleman, my mom is into bags too.
Yeah.
Do you get them locally or do you
Yeah.
order them? It's a
It's a
conversation piece.
conversation.
And that's going to help that person let their guard down a little because, like I said, they may already be feeling self-conscious about their
There
hair
you
or
go.
their makeup or those things. That's human. That's the human side of us. Even though we may be confident, still, it's nice to have somebody confirm what
Yes.
you already knew. You may have
Yeah.
walked out and be like, "Oh, this dress is it's hitting on all them spots." And when somebody says, "That dress is nice," you can be like, "Yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is." Okay, but
And,
flatter them.
and Kim, you know what do it for me?
But does
Instead of something they're wearing,
uh-huh.
cologne.
Oh
Baby.
yes,
Baby. A man that smells good. There's a
yes.
little trimmer that goes through my knees and they just buckle. They don't gotta know that. I don't tell them that.
Right.
But I feel a little a weakness. I'm like, oh, man, you smell good. Men love hearing that. Because men go out of their way to pick something that smells good on them.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a man that wears cologne and you're dating someone who wears cologne, they go out of their way to pick the one that they actually like
Yes.
and feels good with their natural scent. And they're excited when somebody can acknowledge,
That's
oh,
right.
you
And
smell.
then they're gonna wear it
I
every
used
time
to
they see
wear
you.
this cologne called Blue Jeans, Versace. But Versace Blue Jeans, baby. Me and him was no longer together, and I would go buy little shops when we would be walking back, and I
Mm.
just go find that one real quick, and be like, because it was just
Okay.
bring my. But men feel good too when you can
Right.
compliment them on something or
Right.
anything other. Man, I love your smile. You have
Right.
the most beautiful eyebrows.
All right.
Oh my gosh, those glasses look good on you. They're
All
wearing
right.
and you find those little things
Little
because men
thing.
love to feel good about themselves as well. They
Right.
love to, and this is not just heterosexual relationships. This is homosexual relationships, bisexual, binary, whatever the relationship is. Compliment the person because human beings love to be complimented. We
Right.
love to hear something beautiful about ourselves, no matter how
Absolutely.
beautiful we already feel about it. To
Right.
be acknowledged is a plus. That's a big
That's
check
it.
at the beginning of that
That's
day.
it. Value added. I love that. Just like you said, my husband every morning, he's just like, babe, you look good. I was
Yeah.
like, every day.
Every
He said, you're gonna say every day, right? Yes, I am.
yes,
So it's not
every
conceit,
day.
it's confidence. I'm just like, okay,
Oh,
I,
oh, oh,
I
and
put some in.
shoes. Compliment a man's
Yes,
shoes, baby.
yes.
Men who love, especially if they look good. Now, if them shit just run down, excuse me, if they run over, run back, or run down, you ain't got to say nothing. I like the
Nothing.
cuff in your pants. I don't know. Maybe you can find
Right.
something else. But a
Yeah.
man who got some nice shoes, don't act like you don't see it. I really have an issue. I've seen that, Kim, where people really don't like to compliment other people. I really have seen that before. And it's weird. It's like, I don't want them to get the big head. Who are you?
Hmm.
I want your head to fill this room. Guess
Mhm.
what? I did it. You
Right.
gonna remember who did it. Guess who did it? That girl you went on that. She made me feel so good that I felt like I was the only person in the building.
That's it. And it also shows you've paid attention, that
Paid
you've taken time to observe that person. And not the person who was walking by and turned your head while that person was talking to you because that person has gotten your attention.
respectful.
You have to be respectful. Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Love this one. Be interested and interesting. Okay. That means, first of all, you're not throwing up on the person. Some people get so excited about being on a date, they just start talking and they don't ever close their mouth to give that other person an opportunity to say something. But when we talk about being interested, think about, there are certain things that they tell you are taboo to talk about. They talk about, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, things like that. But there are things that are going on locally, and you may want to
Mhm.
say, oh, did I heard there's this new place that opened, or I heard that they've got these festivals, something that's coming up.
Yeah.
Show that you are tapped into your
Yeah.
community, that you're tapped into the things that are going on around you, and they don't have to be necessarily hot button issues. You don't have to be like, oh, I heard there was a shooting at the Shell station. No, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to go that route, but something newsworthy or something that may be going on that may be positive.
Yes.
Oh, I heard there's a concert coming up. Wow, that may be something interesting. And then give that person an opportunity to tell you something about them as well. You may say, wow, I'm looking to start working out, and you look like somebody who's into fitness. What are some of the places that you go to? And then that gives them an opportunity to tell you some things that they're doing. You're tapping into them, but you're also showing them that you have interest as well, and that everything is not just about, oh, let's hurry up and eat this food, or yeah, this chicken is real good, I'm gonna get the most expensive chicken. Come on now.
Hey.
Be that conversation starter, but also be that person that remembers that you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So listen more than you speak.
Hello. Be interested. Eye contact is everything. Let me tell you how I can destroy your life with eye contact. Never mind. I ain't gonna take that. My little.
Yes.
I'm gonna say we're gonna talk when we talk. Even if I'm on a big stage and I'm in a speaking engagement,
Absolutely.
I'm directly catching eyes with
Absolutely.
people because people like to be noticed. They want you to be aware of their presence. Put
Right.
down the motherfucking phone
Bam.
and look at the person who's talking to you. That's how people know you're interested in what they're saying,
Right.
even when you're not. Even when you're kind of not interested, but you're interested in getting to know this person, just pay attention to what they're saying. How do you know you like them if you're not even paying attention? If this is what you're doing the whole time,
Correct.
I mean, take the pictures of the plate, do what you do. Most of the time when I go somewhere, I don't even tag it till I get home. I don't need y'all coming up there to know that I'm still there.
Right.
I ain't
Right.
However, show the person by engaging, like the nods, not body language is everything. See
Everything.
somebody in their eyes when they're talking to you, it will clench a soul, baby. I want your soul. I like collecting a couple of them bitches around every so often. Give me that. I'm gonna give
Right.
you this.
Right.
I'm gonna nod and I'll be like, I'm gonna laugh. And I'm gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna bore you with the trauma of my life.
Right.
There's no need for me to even discuss that with you right now. I don't know you.
Right.
So we're going to talk about something that what even drew us together in the first place. There's got to be
Right.
something
Right.
store that we was in. I'm going to immediately be on some jokey joke while you following me around Walmart. I saw you, just
Right.
to play that.
Right.
And we just to make it interesting so we can laugh and talk a little bit. And it should be kept light when you're dating. It
Yes.
should not turn into a heavy conversation about all the people who have died in your life and all the trauma you've been through on the first
Right.
date, the second date, third date. I don't even care.
Right.
6 months out, you've got to get to know people. People don't spend enough time getting to know all of our representatives show up first.
Right.
We all have representatives that show up, and they're supposed to because they're there to protect us from being heard.
Right.
So spend time. It isn't even just surface. It's surface talk, and I'm not a big surface talk person. But we could talk about what things we like to do. What is it about the mountains that you like? Because I like them for this reason. What is it about the ocean that you like? Because I like them for this reason. And having those type of conversations versus getting you scared about who my last boyfriend. Keep that. No, that's not interesting.
Right. Right.
That
And
person
then
you
and talk
dated
about
is
your job and how much you hate it and how you ready to kill everybody and you can't stand going there.
oh, come on.
Don't let that be the first conversation that you have. Like you said, keep it light.
Keep it light.
Like I said, keep it light. And you said you and I love to joke. That
Joking
was the one thing that me and my husband bantered back and forth. We
them
was all
two
about the jokey
right
jokes
now to this
and
day.
finding little funny things to talk about. And we would people watch. Both of us like the people watch. So we were like, you see that? And so we'd just be laughing. And it was just something that kind of connected us.
Yep.
But just like you said, keep it light. Don't go so deep. Being interesting is is giving people an opportunity to see the lighter side of you,
The
to see the
lighter side
things
of you.
that pique your interest, you
Right.
know, and it also is going to make you dig deep into yourself and determine what are your interests, what are
What?
things that you're interested in. It's going to make you ask the question,
Mhm.
and you have to be able to have that response ready for when somebody says, "So, what do you like to do?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I just be sitting at
So,
home all the time."
yeah.
That right there may be a turn off. So, like I said, be interested and interesting. All right. Now let's get into some of these don'ts.
Let's get some of the don'ts. Don't.
Don'ts. Do not.
Child.
Do not.
Don't call someone more than once a day unless they reply. That person could be taking a nap. They could be working a night shift. They might be busy. There could be emergency going on. Maybe they just don't feel like talking, and people are allowed to not want to talk to you. People are like, did y'all know that? People are allowed to not want to talk to you or anybody else. Sometimes I just don't want to talk. So I don't instantly reply to stuff. But that's one of my boundaries I've created for myself. I'm not gonna force you into it, but I'll respond to you when I'm ready. So when
Right.
you reach out, say you went on a date, the next day, good morning. I had a really great time with you last night. How's your day going? If they don't respond to you instantly, that's not your opportunity to wait an hour or two to call them back
Right.
or even be upset because they haven't responded.
Right.
Wait. And if you're somebody who likes that constant response, that might not be the person for you. You're not going to force people to be what you are.
That's right.
Cut it out. You need
Uh,
to learn to relax. Don't call someone more than once a day unless they reply. I text you and we get into a good little banter. The morning ends, maybe this evening when I lay down. Or you text me before then because I enjoyed the conversation with you.
right.
But no,
Right.
don't.
And my whole thing is go on about the course of your day. You made the call, you made the contact. Move on with the rest of your day, because what happens is when you get stuck in that vacuum of, oh, well, I called and that person didn't call me back again. Now your whole day is consumed
Consumed.
with the fact that this person didn't call you back. And so now you've missed out on every other thing that could have been happening during the course of that day, has
Period.
now been ruined because that person didn't call you back. Just like Sheronda said, that person may have been busy. That person may be on the job where they're not allowed to have access to their phones. I train in childcare. They're not allowed to have their cell phones during the day. They need to be focused on the children, so they can't do that. There may be jobs where they are on a register, or they're constantly interacting with customers and they're unable to contact you. Give
Yes.
them an opportunity. You
Yep.
know, if it's days on it, like I said, once a day, it doesn't mean stalk the person either. You don't have to call them every single day. Give them an opportunity to call back, or it may be that they were not interested,
And that's
but
it.
and that's okay too. But the whole point of it is make that initial contact and go on about the course of your life. And if
Yep.
that person falls back in or they catch up, then you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
when you're focusing on it, it seems like it's taking them forever to get back. When you're doing other things, all of a sudden that person calls, you're like, oh, it
Exactly.
doesn't seem like it's as long as you thought it
As you
was.
thought it was. And let me say real quick before we get to the next don't that Kim will be introducing. You see that scrolling at the bottom of the page? Make sure you're following both of our pages. Say hi if you enter the room. Say
Okay.
hello, peace. Oh, G here. Hey,
Yes,
G.
he said, good
How's
evening, ladies. How's
everything?
everybody doing? We good.
We're good. Peace, baby. Now, my man, my man, my man. But yes, make sure you're following both of our page. Kim at How Now Podcast 2391. Me at AYE Live 8131. Make sure you join us. Follow, click, like, subscribe, and share.
Okay, yes,
Let's
because
go.
we talk about stuff like that every Monday. We go live, and so check us out. Find
Turn
out
your
what we're talking
notifications
about.
on. Turn the bell on.
Yes, hit that notification bell, because we are in a relationship series, and then that way you can also catch what you missed. You may have missed a few shows. Go back a few and and see what we've been talking about since we started on this journey
This
of
time is flying
you know.
by. Good Lord.
Yes, it is. It is. All right, let's move on. Okay. Don't date someone who has similar characteristics of someone who ended a relationship with you previously. Why do you go back to that same MO? Or if that person does the same thing that person did that got on your nerves, and this new person is not going to get on your nerves? I'm just saying. If that person is giving that same vibe, then it's the possibility that it's going to end the same way that the last one did. Sometimes we fall down that rabbit hole. I like that roughneck, and every single time you date that roughneck, the same thing happens.
Every time.
Or the personality traits
Yeah.
are similar. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When those things is given that same vibe, start considering that maybe that's not the person for you. Or maybe that's not the type for you. You thought
Yeah.
it was, or maybe you've evolved and now it's a different type
Yeah.
of person now. But be
Girl,
careful. Why do you keep going down the same rabbit hole?
Kim, that's why I love you did this in red, because I'm convinced people like getting beat in the head with red flags. Pat, 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 pat.
Flag be
Red
flying.
flags. Red flags just flying all over the place. Don't date someone who has similar characteristics to somebody you dated before. It's just a waste of your time. You see the similarities, run. Who wants to put their hand on a hot stove, get burnt, and they put their hand on the stove again? That's just glutton for punishment at that particular point. Now, if you saw some positive characteristics, we're not referring to those. You see this red? What red means? Stop. Danger.
Right.
We're talking about the ones that are really kind of scary, that that just listen. I won't even date another Sagittarius. That's how. Let me see.
Now,
I would never date another. I'm sorry, Sagittarius. I'm sorry. Somebody likes you, but this gem just don't. We just don't click. We maybe because we too much alike. I don't know. That's what they like to say. We're sister signs. Fuck y'all. I'm not doing it again because I had too many red flags in that particular relationship. That don't have to be your gauge. But if, like Kim said, I like, oh baby, a hood nigga. I didn't say a roughneck. I like hood niggas who came from the hood. They ain't there no more, but they still got that little bit of I might choke you. Yeah, baby, choke me. Wait a minute, wrong way. I'll look those characteristics I'll take. But if you seem like somebody who wanted to argue every time we were on a date or afterwards because I won't call you or respond to you as quick as you're arguing with me. If I see that happen one time, say the first time it happened, that relationship ended badly, right? You see it come up again in another person. And let me tell you why this happened. I'm going to tell you all clearly as a spiritual life empowerment coach and someone who does shadow work with my clients. The reason this happens is because you didn't work something out in you. You're attracting who you are. People are a reflection of us. They reflect what we believe most about ourselves. So if you're saying, I keep seeing the same type of person over and over again, baby, you're attracting yourself. So it's time for you to work on something very deep within yourself so that no longer is interesting to you. Otherwise, it would never come. It's trying to teach you something, baby.
Right. That's how you say. You keep going down there. What they say the definition of insanity is when you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Okay. Sometimes the writing is on the wall, and so we have to be careful if we're starting to see those signs. Like you said, then you see that flag starting to emerge again, and it begins to start to flow. It's time to start saying, well, this might not be. I don't know. This is not going to end. Now, yes, granted, like I said, some people is different variables. When we talk about similar characteristics, we're talking about in character or in their actions, not necessarily in their appearance. There may be an appearance that's similar for you. We're not saying that because you broke up with a light skinned guy, don't date any other light skinned guys. We're not saying that. We're talking about their personalities. There's something in the way they do. They're argumentative. They're combative. You notice that those types of things are similar. Those are the ones where you need to tuck tail and run. Okay, because you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. You don't want to keep running down the same rabbit hole. Like I said, it is the definition of insanity when you keep doing the same thing and thinking that there's going to be a different result.
Yeah.
Unless there are changes in you or in that person, you're gonna wind up seeing the same results. So be careful. Choose wisely. All right, let's move on because time is flying.
Yeah. Don't be dishonest about your current situation. Now, you don't have to reveal everything about your current situation, but don't lie about your current. Don't act like you got a car and you just got dropped off by Uber. Do not stop playing on me.
Right.
I left a car at the house so I could and now I'm going to find out because now you really like me. I really like you, but come to find out, you really never had a car. that's gonna make somebody have to look at you side. I'm like, those type of lies for me, I cannot deal with. Or
Right.
talking about you don't have any children. We're talking about you've never been married. All these things that you being dishonest about. Why was you want the most authentic relationship you will ever
Right.
have in your life? And the
Right.
only way to do that is to be honest. You don't have to tell them I live with my mother. I don't know. Never mind. I ain't gonna judge you.
The whole point of
You
it.
don't have to tell everything about yourself immediately, but don't make up shit just to be in a relationship with somebody. It's
Correct.
tacky. Because now
Correct.
I have to, again, now I'm in a relationship with the person that I thought you were. So now I have to find out and learn a new person, decide if I
Right.
even want to be with this person now.
Right.
Because you don't do that. People who, if somebody who wants you how you are today.
Right.
Now who you gonna be, what you think about to happen,
That's right.
how you show up in that moment is the best thing. You're supposed to believe that.
Right.
In the worst situations, you're still the best person. You're still amazing. You're still beautiful. You're still, all that stuff is true. But your situation might just be what it is right now. Don't go
Right.
lying to people about that. It's some bullshit.
Right. Absolutely. And then you have to remember that what a relationship is built on. Trust.
Yes.
Trust. That's what you're doing as you're dating and you're developing a rapport with one another. Trust is going to be the thing. You need to
Yes.
know that you can trust that person to do what they say they're going to do and be who they say they're going to be at the moment.
Yes.
But like you said, if you just straight out lying right out the gate, now I've got to sit here and now I don't know you enough to know whether you're going to do it again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So just like you said, just don't lie.
Yeah. And I
Make it
know
real simple.
here.
Just
I
don't be
know
a
Jim is on
liar.
here, but that's why me and him are together to this day. We knew each other 20 years ago, went our separate ways. But when we came back together, that day that I hit him, it just was happened to be the one weekend I didn't have children. I had got me a room in a beautiful resort. I was by myself, and he just happened to tell me it was my birthday weekend, which is coming up real soon. And
Hmm.
he just happened to say happy birthday. I'm like, well, hi, how are you? How's it going? He let me know he was back in Georgia. He wasn't even living in the state. That was the crazy part. He flat out told me. And when I said, come see me, he was like, well, I get paid next weekend. So I could do something next weekend if you want to do it. No, my mind's like, oh, hell no. The kid's going to be with me next weekend. I got you. I'll take care of you. You can pay me back next
Right.
weekend. And he came, but because he was honest, I will forever be
Right.
grateful that day. Because he could have just lied and been like, no, I'm working this weekend. I can't come. So, and who knows how things would have panned out. But the fact that he
Right.
could just say, I get paid next weekend and I could come see you then made me be like, "Ah, dude, I got it. You can send that back. Let's do what we do." And it was amazing. It was it's
Right.
still amazing almost 3 years later.
That's it. But it's all about, like you said, it's all about trust and it's all about, being real with people. And just like you said, you're not telling them your whole entire life story and everything else. Like you said, you're being interesting and interested at that
That's
time.
all. That's
That's
all.
all you're doing. But, as things are beginning to progress, don't get in the habit of saying things that are just not true. Just like you said
Yes.
about the car. Don't say you got a car and you know that Uber dropped you off. Eventually, that person's going to find out you don't have a car.
Yes.
Or
Are we
don't
on
say
the
that you're
last slide?
working
Oh,
and you
sorry.
know that you don't have a job. Okay. Because then if things do go well and you want to progress, now you got to backpedal and be like,
Now you got to
well,
back.
let me be honest with you. I didn't say this before, but now. And now I'm looking at you sideways, like, wait a minute. So why didn't you just say that out the way? Well, I didn't want you not to like me, but now I'm feeling some kind of way because
Yeah.
I'm feeling like you lied to me right off the rip.
Yes.
Okay, I see yo. Hi yo, how you doing?
Whoa.
Spending money ain't about having it like that. Is about having you like that. Okay, hold on.
I
Let me
have
read that.
you.
Spending money ain't about having it like that. It's about having you like that. I like
Period.
that. Period. See what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of just just keep it real. That's the biggest
What are
thing.
you gonna
Keep
do?
it real when you're talking about these relationships. So you don't have to go back and be backpedaling and having to explain why you went this way and that way.
Yeah.
It's not about that. Just be honest. Be honest. All right, Sean, I think we're gonna stop there.
Okay.
I think we're
We
gonna
don't have
stop
one
there.
more?
Hold on. Do we have one more?
Yeah.
Oh yes. We have one more. You're
Go ahead.
right. Don't be too available. Y'all. Y'all. It's just what it says. Sometimes we just, as soon as the phone rings, we're picking it up. As soon as that person says something, we're ready to go. Take that. Be available to yourself. Okay, don't always pick up the phone every single time it rings.
Yeah.
Sometimes let it ring and let that person leave a message.
Mm-hmm.
Don't always be, because what happens is when people see that you Johnny on the spot all the time, and they're gonna. Some people will take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll mistake your kindness and things like that for weakness, and that every time something happens, you always gonna be change it up a little bit.
Yes.
Let that phone ring. You may be anxious to talk to that person, but guess what? You can call them back. And if they're interested, they're going to accept that call back, or they're going to wait.
Yes.
And that's coming from us as Gen X, because, once upon a time, there wasn't an answering machine. We remember when there was an answering machine. You just had to wait till that person got home and leave that call. Or you had to wait until that person got home and check their answering machine to be able to do that. Don't make yourself sick, because you look thirsty.
Yes.
And not thirsty for water. You look thirsty like, oh my goodness, you just, that person is your everything. And it's too soon, but you're just dating.
Yeah.
Ease up a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't be too available. Don't be too thirsty.
Yes. Not being so available creates anticipation. I'm excited for the next time I hear from this person. If it's just constantly this, you don't have nothing to be excited about. If they don't respond to me right now I'm anticipatory. I'm like, whew. And then when they finally say, hey, whoa, child, I knew he liked me. You just create that little buzz inside yourself and within them. That's where we have to be okay with creating excitement in a relationship. But constantly talk all day. What am I anticipating?
Right.
Even in marriage, you're going to have to create that.
That's right.
And here's the other thing about being too available. When your life shifts, say you're working one shift and working from 9 to 5, and all of a sudden your job's like, okay, we need you to start working from 2 to 11.
Right.
You being so available at the 9 to 5 spot, and then you trying to sleep a certain time because you're trying to change your sleep patterns to accommodate this new schedule. This person's now pissed because you're not as available as you were before. Right. So
you set an expectation.
You didn't set an expectation. Now they got attitude for really no reason whatsoever. Right. To be honest with you,
right.
But allow people to anticipate you. Right. Let that feeling be there. And just give it a second.
I love that. And you're so true about that, because that's the thing. Just like you said, things happen, and the moment you don't answer that phone, and I called you, and you ain't answering me back. And I did this, and you did. Now it's like you're like, well, dang, I went to the bathroom and I missed the call. Yeah. So you see, just like you said, you set an expectation that is way too high, and it's not something that you're going to be able to maintain for a long period of time, because lifes.
Yeah.
And as soon as something happened, you didn't charge your phone, you didn't do something. Now they're accusing you of ignoring them. That wasn't the situation at all. So you set yourself up when you're too available. Yeah. I like some of these comments. She said that, because baby, there was a time I had to return a page. Okay, all right, you taking us back, girl. You're taking us back. My husband owned a page store, so I'm just sitting there back in the day. Okay, yeah. But yes, like you said, don't be too available. Okay, it's just like she said. She said that she was told sometimes that she wasn't available enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop, stop being clingy.
You're clinging. Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be at that. You're just sitting there like you just anticipating, like you sitting in the window with a candle waiting for that person to come. Breathe.
Yes.
Because you have life.
Yes.
You have a life to live. You want to still, the one thing that we want to remember when we talk about dating is that you're not giving your life over to that person.
Yeah.
You still have things that you're doing. You still have interests that you're doing. You still have your friends that you hang out with. You have other people. It's not that your life stops when you start dating. That's just another aspect of your life.
Yes.
But you're still living your life. You're still going to work. You're not saying, oh, I'm not going to go to work because I need to be up under this person. Or you're not stopping doing the things that you typically do to maintain your normal life today. Be careful about that.
Yes.
Be careful about that.
Excellent show. Thank you to everyone who has come in and joined us. Those of you who have clicked like, those of you who have clicked subscribe, all the good stuff. But those of you who haven't, Y'all see that little thing going at the bottom of the screen? Go ahead and follow both of our YouTube channels. Kim's is How Now, which is at How Now Podcast 2391. I'm AYE Live at AYE Live 8131. We thank you so much. Click like, click subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when we go live.
Yes. And one more thing, y'all. I have to show this. Sheronda is selling her meditation pillows. I got mine.
My friend supports me. Look,
all right, she's got them behind it. I went by and I picked out mine, so I've got mine, and it is wonderful. So I had to shout her out and let y'all see that I went and got my pillow. She said to come and get it, and I just wanted to let y'all know I did went and got mine, and it was the bomb. Okay, so yep, make sure y'all check it out. All right, and with that, look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Yes, until next time, guess what, y'all? Peace.